It's 4th of July week. Everybody's going to be grilling, barbecuing, whatever you want to call it, okay? And a lot of you are keeping it simple, like myself, with hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken. You may not have a lot of room on your grill, but you still want to incorporate your ribs. So, you put them in the oven. And if you want, before they're almost done, throw them on the grill. They'll have charred flavor. No one will know the difference. If you want to continue cooking them in the oven, you can do that. But I'm going to show you the easy way to cook them in the oven, where they are literally fall off the bone and delicious. So you may not even want to go through the trouble of grilling them. So obviously what you're going to need first are your ribs. Okay, and I'll show you how to get them prepped up. This is the way I do it. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But what I like to do is you want to get that skin off the back, okay? Now, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but this is a dry rub, okay? So you just want to poke with a really sharp knife. Hopefully I'm getting this on video so you can see. I have a glass cutting board on here, so don't get creeped out. So you want to get a really sharp knife if you can, if you have one, and you want to kind of go in there and break up that skin that's on the back of ribs. Slice right through that skin. For me, no problem. I have a pretty decent chef knife, so I'm going to keep going in here. See, like this little stubborn guy right here is not cutting through. So you just want to this is like the first step. You want to prep the ribs, okay, to where, and why I'm doing this is because it's for seasoning reasons, okay? Because if you don't cut the backs of these, whatever you dry rub the back, it's not going to get into the meat back here, okay? So you're not worried about this. This part right here, those are bones. You're worried about getting the seasoning in between the meat. Okay, so keep cutting down. Don't be nervous, but don't cut yourself either. And keep cutting down all the way through the back. If you see parts that aren't cutting off with one strip, there we go. Okay? So, keep cutting down. There we go. Done. So that's already prepped. I'm not taking the skin off of that because I'm just not going to deal with it today. I'm not in the mood to be aggravated. Alright. Okay, so how quick are these ribs going to be done? Who knows? Pause. I have to wash my hands. Be right back. Okay. Alright, so I got the skin cut in between all the pieces of ribs there. And now I've moved my ribs to the side because we're going to do the dry rub. As I mentioned, these are the dry rub rib. That's the way I like it. So you're going to need, your little measuring spoon here, a big bowl or a small bowl, and all of the seasonings that you need, okay? So now these ribs are actually going to be a little bit spicy. So if you're not ready for spicy ribs, leave out the seasonings that create the spice, okay? I'm not going to be offended. Make it the way you want it. But if you can tolerate some form of heat, try it this way first. If you can't and you find things to be extremely spicy, even when they're not, then leave out the cayenne pepper for sure, okay? So, what we're going to do now is we're going to add in all of the seasonings. You may hear my daughter in the background. Don't worry about that. She's fine. She's noisy like me. What could I say? So what we're going to do is, as usual, we're going to create our spice blend. We have our onion powder, we have garlic, we have cumin, we have cayenne pepper, we have salt, we have white pepper, we have chili. What's up, babe? And cayenne pepper, okay? Oh, sorry, I'm lying. This is paprika. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add in all of this into the bowl and then mix it around. Right, Rihanna? Oh, now you want to be quiet, but you want to scream mama while I'm trying to talk here on my video, huh? Yeah, I know, I hear ya. Alright, so what we're going to do, as always, all of the measurements are at the bottom of the videos, okay? You have to get that, baby. Alright, bring it to me. Pause. Life of a mother. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So, you're going to add in, as always, the measurements are at the bottom of the video. So you're going to add in your cumin. Now, this is a really, really easy recipe. So, don't get freaked out and think I'm just going to be creating these recipes that take 10 minutes or 15 minutes or I'm selling out. It's just that it's 4th of July week, you know, and people may want to have some recipes for some dry rub or ribs or whatever, okay? So that's why I'm doing this. So don't think, oh, look at her, she's getting so simple. I don't think so. I'm a complicated woman. I always have been and I always will be. God bless my husband, right? Okay, so there goes the garlic. I did right before that I added in the paprika. Okay, the onion. And people ask me sometimes, hey, why do you have them in Ziploc containers? Because I have over 80 spices and it's just easier for me to organize alphabetically that way. Okay, chili powder. Chili powder, a lot of people may not have. So, you know, if you wanted to leave it out, you could. But for me, it is truly essential. So there's my salt. And then I have my cayenne pepper. Now, I'm going to go easy on the cayenne pepper. And I'm only going to put in a teaspoon. Okay? I normally would put in like 2. But I'm not really in the mood to burn my mouth today. So, just 1. 1 shall do. And then we're going to have also... where's my black pepper? Ooh, I don't have it out. Shame on me. Alright, we'll go to the white pepper then, and I'll search. I think the black pepper should be around here somewhere. So you're also going to include in... Now, white pepper and black pepper are 2 different tastes. They even smell different, so I would suggest you use both. Okay, white pepper is pretty mild compared to black pepper, of course. Okay, so here's my black pepper. You know what else I'm forgetting? Brown sugar. It's all coming to me now. And here's a teaspoon of the black pepper. Oh, my husband's walking through the door. Wonderful. I'm disturbed every way, shape, or form. Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you? Oh, my dog knows you're here. Okay, so I'm back. And remember how I said I forgot to add in my brown sugar? I've done that already. So you can use light brown sugar, dark brown sugar, honestly, whatever you have on hand, okay? If you don't have any, then leave it out, I guess. Or you can just use white sugar just to give it some form of sweetness. So you're just going to mix up the spices here. Liberally going to season your ribs. Man, the way I'm looking at it, I may even have to make a second batch. And obviously, this is called a dry rub for a reason. Once you get it on there, you kind of want to rub it in, okay? Now, as it may look like, oh my goodness, that's a lot, but you have to understand, this meat, it needs to be, you know, the seasoning needs to be penetrated. And once you start cooking it with the aluminum foil in the oven, all of that seasoning is going to drip down into the back of the meat. So now I'm going to go in, and I'm just going to press it in and rub it in, hence the name, dry rub. You want to rub. See, I didn't get that part back there, so let's get that part. I want to make sure I even get like the sides of the ribs, you know, like this right here. All right, on the other side, actually, I pulled up the wrong side. I always want to make sure I get like every aspect of the rib covered in the rub. Okay, you want to gently just pat it in there, rub it around, make sure it's fully seasoned. Let's see. Yeah, I need some down there, down under, right here. And then we flip them. And you're going to season the back, of course, right? Why would you? You don't want to only season one side because there's meat back here too. And like I said, since we cut into the skin on there, the seasoning is going to go inside the ribs. So, we're just going to season here. Be real liberal here. Okay, and again, go through the same, your hands. It's a really messy thing to do. Probably should have put gloves on. You see these parts right here? I don't know. I don't like when meat's not seasoned, so I go in there, okay? I may have used almost all of the seasoning. And since I've gone in there with my filthy pork hands, whatever's left over I have to throw out anyway. Alright, which isn't going to be much. Because like I said, I get every nook and cranny here is going to be seasoned. Alright, so you see what I just did there? Alright, keep rubbing, keep pushing up all the seasoning in the ribs. Alright, flip it over, check your sides, make sure everything is seasoned. Everything looks well seasoned to me. So, oops, except for my hand is getting what's happening is when your hands get like this, it starts picking up all the seasoning from the ribs. So you kind of just want to, okay, just pat it in again, make sure it's in there. All right, I'm going to pause now and wash my hands. I'll be right back. So you're going to take out a huge piece the size of your ribs of aluminum foil. Name brand doesn't matter. As long as it's a heavy duty foil, usually it says heavy duty on it or it says made for grilling. You can do that. Okay, so whatever falls off here stays off. Now skin side down. Let's hold on. We're going to go, oh my God, I wish I had 4 hands because 2 is never enough. Okay, let's move this out of the way. So, as you can see, meat side down, I'm sorry, not skin side down, meat side down. And you don't want to kind of spread them apart either. You want them to kind of stay together, okay? So this is the first aluminum foil. You're also going to pull out one more. Same length. Try to get the same length, okay? Because you want to have it double to make sure it doesn't leak out anywhere. Don't be alarmed by this. This is clean but absolutely abused because I use it for recipes like this where I'm cooking on aluminum foil. Alright, so you have your 2 layers of aluminum foil and you're going to create like a little foil packet just like this, okay? Foil them up, press up, okay? And then you're going to make like a little boat, like an aluminum foil boat. Okay? So that's the way you could describe it. Make sure that both of them are put together. I'm going to put this in this angle here so it all sits on my pan. And then what I do is I go back around. Ooh, Lord. I go back around with another long piece of aluminum foil. Now I'm going to set this on the top and then show you what I'm doing with it. So now I'm going to take like the outside parts of my so-called boat and I'm going to cover them this way, kind of squeeze it. It kind of looks like a boat. Okay, you squeeze it and then you fold in this way so that it doesn't leak out. So you're going to pinch in the sides here and then fold them in. You see what I'm doing? I'm just folding like it over, you know, just enough to where I know that it's not going to leak. And I'll tell you why, because all the fat is going to sit at the bottom of the ribs, okay? And if you don't do it this way, it's just going to drip out into your pan. So here we go. I've created my rib boat. Heavy duty aluminum foil, don't forget that. Now, I'm going to sit it in the oven this way at 275, starting at about 2.5 hours. What I'll do is I open slightly like this. I unpinch and then I check it, okay? And I'll know by touching it with a fork to see if it's tender. If it needs more time, I close it back up and I keep it in the oven. There you go, easy dish. I know you must be thinking, oh, who needs a video for this? I don't know, some people may, so don't judge me. Alright, so this is what it looks like on the plate, and as you can see, some of it has already fall off the bone. I have it with some brown sugar baked beans, a homemade potato salad, red potatoes, skin on, and some tri-colored corn, and that's about it. So, quick, simple, fast, easy recipe. It could be done in the oven without you having to check on it. You just pop it in, 3 hours, 15 minutes later, done. Okay, so if you try the recipe and you like it, please let me know. Post some pictures, I don't know, send a message, let me know how much you like it. Share the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Share. Next week's video, I'm making stuffed meatballs, so stay tuned for that. Okay, hope you like this video. Bye!